Welcome back, my fellow agents. It is I, X7. Yes, you're a agent of Animated Awesome, and today we're going to be talking about the 1982 movie, The Last Unicorn, based on the 1968 book, The Last Unicorn. Peter Beagle, whoops, Peter S. Beagle adapted it from his own, the screenplay from his own book, so it's pretty true, and it's pretty much what you'd want. I mean, you can't really, it's like The Princess Bride being adapted by Jerry Gold, or well, the guy that wrote the Princess Bride book wrote the Princess Bride screenplay. That's what I'm getting at. I mean, you're gonna make sacrifices to shorten things because this only runs whopping 93 minutes. It was released to the theaters theatrically November 19th, 1982. I unfortunately didn't see it then for some reason. I already had the book. My beloved sister had given it to me, and I still have that copy. So it's her fault. Anyway, it is about The Last Unicorn. It was produced by Rankin Bass Productions for ITC Entertainment and animated by Japanese studio Topcraft. For some reason, I thought it was a Toei production because Rankin Bass worked with them, like for the King Kong show. But it was not, obviously. It has music by America, or the songs are sung by the pop band from the 70s, America, and this was pretty much toward the end of their last gasp of fame. They were kind of on the way out. I think Magic was their last big hit that I remember.
She is a creature of legend.
So we'll be hearing from the original trailer here. It took me a minute to find that out, but obviously this deals with what the MacGuffin is. Why are there no more? Why are there no more unicorns? Why is she the only one left? The hunters here are discussing unicorns in the glade. There she is in all her glory. She's not really a horse unicorn like they show. She's got the cloven hooves. She's supposed to have a billy goat's beard sort of thing, but they stylized her a little more, which is fine. I mean, and that long, long tail. It's all nearly prehensile, but she looks great. So the opening credits go on here. We'll while we listen to the trailer a little bit.
In an age of sorcery and savagery.
Well, what have we here?
Savagery. Come on, there's no savagery in this movie at all. It's all off camera. Anything that happens that's deadly is off camera. So Mia Farrow is the voice of the unicorn. Angela Lansbury is the voice of Mama Fortuna maybe. Mommy Fortuna. And Alan Arkin is the voice of Schmendrick. Jeff Bridges is the voice of Prince Lear. I cut some of these out. Christopher Lee is obviously the voice of King Haggard. You'll know why when you see him. And then Paul Frees and Renee Auberjonois, you'll know from Odo. And Paul Frees, of course, Boris Badenoff himself are in here. And then there's America. There you go. And directed by Rankin and Bass themselves. So there she is, The Last Unicorn.
Demons.
No!
What sets her on her course is those two hunters who say she's the last one. It's a unicorn's glade or forest. But then she wants to know if she's the only one left because she never leaves. Unicorns are apparently solitary creatures. And this bumblebee, no, that's not a bumblebee, that's a butterfly, comes in. And that's I want to say, who is the voice? It's Alan Arkin, no, it's Schmendrick. Robert Klein is the voice of the butterfly who rambles on and does a lot of anachronistic things, says a lot of anachronistic things, but sends her on her way. There's her forest animals. Look at there's dodos here. That's pretty interesting. Now this was supposed to take place, I think, I don't know, it's kind of an amorphous time frame. Even though the butterfly sings, "Won't You Come Home, Bill Bailey?" But off she goes. She's got to find more unicorns, so she leaves her forest and begins to change because you just can't help it. She walks through snow, and then this is how people see her and think she's just a horse, even though she's got that ridiculously long tail with a lion's poof at the end and cloven hooves. Horses have a single toe. They haven't had cloven hooves since they were a Mesohippus or something like that. And she's not as big as a horse. Nobody rides her. But look at this gorgeous. The animation is gorgeous, and the scenery, it's really well done. This movie did not make a lot of money, I don't think, when it was released. Yeah, sadly, uh, um, I just don't think that it was. Well, I think America was the wrong pop band to have on the soundtrack, but Rankin Bass, they did the Hobbit movie, the original Hobbit movie, and the Return of the King, and they filled everything full of pop songs. And Flight of the Dragons has one as well, and it's like, and they pulled these are in the '80s, and they were pulling people from the '70s, probably because they could get them for cheap, would be my guess. But anyway, that's just speculation on my part. But the animation is gorgeous, and it's rightfully become considered a classic, I believe. It's definitely, uh, its reputation has improved. So these images are from the Blu-ray from Shout Factory, which released a Blu-ray and DVD together called the Enchanted Edition, which is the one I have. And this is the first time I've watched it. I've seen the movie several times, many times, and it's just like I said, I can't use the word gorgeous enough, but I will stop. It's got a 75% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, so it's really well done. So off she goes, and just there's a lot of her standing around. Unfortunately, she runs into Mommy Fortuna, and there she is. There's both Schmendrick and Ruch and Mommy Fortuna herself. Now, I read the book first, so I had my own ideas of what these people would look like. This is very much looking like in the Rankin Bass style, especially, but they're a little slender. I don't know who. I think Paul Frees. No, Brother Theodore played Rook, who I don't know anything about him except that he's German-born. They capture the unicorn because they can all see who she is, but most people just see her. Normal people see her as a regular horse. So Mommy Fortuna casts a spell which gives her a horn that the regular people can see. They also see dragons, and you can see her fake horn there. Dragons, a manticore. I don't even know what the hell that's supposed to be. One of the wild things, I guess. And I don't mean the pop band that sang the Trogs. Maybe it is a Trog. The Midgard serpent, of all things, like they could put it in and a harpy. And that's not a good thing to have in there. She captured the harpy when it was asleep. And that's not going to be Mommy Fortuna and Ruch are not going to come to a happy ending. Tell you what.
And dragons, she may be the last unicorn.
If you heard, there was Godzilla's roar in there for the dragon. Because Toho just farmed out their sound effects if people would pay the right price. You have to remember this was 1982. There hadn't been a new Godzilla movie since 1975 and wouldn't be for another 2 years. But there's the harpy, a very obviously female harpy because they're generally female. And Schmendrick actually figures out how to release the unicorn. And there she is. And she releases all the other animals it's an ape, it's an alligator, it's a snake, and I don't remember what the other one was. But and then she goes to free the harpy, who threatens her, but really wants more vengeance on Mommy Fortuna. And this, when I say the movie is not violent, it's bloodless. That's her and Rook meeting their end. I don't know if that's a skull or a mask, and then she flies. They run away. And the harpy flies off there. They're really well done. I mean, it's set properly. I mean, look at that. It's got the right amount of contrast and everything. So off they go. They're looking for, they've learned about the Red Bull. And Red Bull, well, that's whenever I hear the the term Red Bull, this is what I think of.
All I want to know is if you've seen other unicorns like me somewhere in the world.
You can find the others if you are brave. They passed down all the roads long ago, and the Red Bull ran close behind them and covered their footprints.
Covered their footprints. So there's our MacGuffin, the search for the other unicorns. This is, I want to say Sir Giles of the Wood, but I think I'm getting that confused with the Dragon and the George. That's Keenan Wynn as Captain Cully, the leader of the bandits. That, like they decided, and there's Molly, that is, wait, where'd she go? Tammy Grimes as Molly Grew, who they say is the love of Captain Cully, but she just ditches him pretty quick. But they invite Schmendrick and the horse, who's hiding, but they invite him to join them because he's hungry, and he conjures up a spell. He's not a very good magician, which is, a coming-of-age story, though he's tried, but he's been a failure because he doesn't believe in himself, that sort of thing. And he conjures up Robin Hood and Maid Marian and the rest of the merry men, and all of them think they're real and go chasing after him, and then when they find out that they've wronged him. I think that's Jack Jingley, who is one of Cully's men. That's Edward Peck, best known as Officer Kirk in Happy Days. I watched Happy Days. I don't remember that. But they tie Schmendrick up to a tree, and he turns the tree into a live thing, a very female live thing, voiced by Paul Frees, which just cracks me up. It just does. Let's see.
Oh, I could never leave this forest. But I must know if I am the only unicorn left in the world.
The classic tale. It's now a classic animated adventure.
I don't know if a classic tale is from '68, but it's a great book. I highly recommend reading it, especially if you've never seen the movie. Read the book first, watch the movie. It helps things make sense. And the movie actually, Beagle was super enthused by the actors he got there. They did a great job. I mean, I say that all the time. They did The Hobbit and this former Toei animation, which is why they all look like that. Return of the King and other things. And apparently some guy named Hayao Miyazaki and to work on Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. But anyway, so there they are. Now we've got a trio, and Molly recognizes the unicorn and wants to know where she's been her whole life because, when she was a young woman.
Featuring the voices of Mia Farrow,
The spell was wrong, but there was true magic in it.
Alan Arkin,
My dear, you deserve the services of a great wizard, but I'm afraid you'll have to be glad of the aid of a second-rate pickpocket.
Jeff Bridges,
That is exactly what heroes are for.
Which is a great line, too. One of my favorites. So there's the castle where the king lives that Christopher Lee plays. King Haggard. And it has a name. And now, where did it go? I'm looking to see if I can find the name here. He's the one who's conjured up the Red Bull. Apparently, Captain Cully is the disappointing reality behind the myth of Robin Hood. It's got a name, but I don't remember it. Sorry. Obviously, the Red Bull's about to attack, and the Red Bull gives the unicorn wings, and she runs away from it. Woo, 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 woo.
It's you and me, Mark. Hand to hand to hand to hand.
Robert Klein, Christopher Lee,
I am King Haggard.
and the music of America.
It just, in 1982, I don't know. I mean, I can understand if they got him for cheap because they hadn't had a hit for a while. So as the Red Bull is chasing her and wants to corral her into, well, no spoilers yet. But Schmendrick turns her into a woman with actual real magic. And, there she is. And the Red Bull just goes off because he's looking for a unicorn, not a naked woman. And they go off to the castle because they figure that's where she is. She's got Schmendrick's cloak on to keep the PG rating. I'm pretty sure it was rated G. Like I said, there's no blood or anything in it. And I don't fault them for that because, cartoons were it was a different universe back then in some 43 years ago. And here it is. And then we get to meet Prince Lear and King Haggard.
It's the last unicorn.
And there's Haggard's original magician, and who he replaces with Schmendrick, voiced again by Paul Frees, as Mabrook is his name. He says, "Goodbye, tough darts, King. Your doom is at your door, and you don't even realize it."
A journey into the unknown.
What's that? Go on!
A mystery full of wonders.
And there's the lady Amalthea. I think they say it weird. I always said it Amalthea, but I think they put the accent Amalthea. I don't, and I assume that's how Peter Beagle wanted you to say her name. So we probably should go with that, but I like Amalthea. I think it flows better. That's just me. There's the dragon that has Godzilla's roar in it. That is a very eastern looking dragon. So Prince Lear, who's out just wantonly killing dragons for no good reason, decide to try to impress the lady Amalthea.
Beyond imagining.
That's one. I want to know who she is.
And there's the cat, who's got one eye, but there's lots of great quotes in this movie. When the cat gets to say fun stuff. Where'd it go? Where'd he go? Well, if you look at WikiQuote, it provides lots of them. But no cat ever out of its first four is deceived easily, unlike people who seem to want to. No cat out of its first four was ever deceived by appearances, unlike human beings who seem to enjoy it. Also voiced by Paul Frees. And there she is. She's fascinated by the ocean. And the king is spying on her because he's got a mystery, but she's turning more human is the problem, because she's been turned human, and unicorns aren't supposed to be human.
Schmendrick's alive!
Getting toward the end of the trailer there. So that's just a sunset. That's actually not the Red Bull. And this little kitty has a stumped leg too. It's been through some battles. But they aren't fazed by unicorns that can talk to them, or cats that can talk to them, or as we'll see, as they're looking for the secret to the Red Bull. And here's some Disney-esque sort of thing where she's falling in love with Prince Lear. I don't know if she's imagining him as a unicorn, but they're telling her, and now she's crying because she doesn't want Lear to get hurt. And there's the clock. That's the secret way to the Red Bull. That the skeleton here, who's drinking nothing and thinking it's wine, and talks to them, and they're just not fazed by it at all. So magic is just easily come by, or at least seen. You rarely see a skeleton get drunk, and turn color because they don't have any skin. But there it is. He's drunk. And he tells them where to find how to get to the Red Bull's lair. But he also can see that the lady Amalthea is a unicorn, and he rouses the two people the two other people in this castle. So the king is on his way. He's released the Red Bull. Prince Lear is a hero, which is my favorite quote there. Let's see if we can find that. It's right here. Dialogue. Schmendrick. No. Fortuna. Oh, come on. Here we go. No, my lady, I am a hero, and heroes know that things must happen when it is time for them to happen. The quest may not be simply abandoned. Unicorns may go unrescued for a long time, but not forever. A happy ending cannot come in the middle of the story. Yeah, that's why I put that there, because that's just the way things are. And she wants to marry him and live and die with him.
Hang on!
Do something!
And that's when he does something. The magic, he finally accepts that he can get the magic when he wants it, and it changes her back to a unicorn.
Magic, do as you will. Magic, do as you will.
Unfortunately, Red Bull is still giving her wings because she's still scared of him until Prince Lear gets almost sacrificed.
Look and see her, how she's smart.
The last unicorn. The legend will live forever.
Jeez. Oh, these trailers. Anyway, once Prince Lear gets knocked down, she's pissed. And she knows she's stronger than the unicorn. Somehow she figures it out, and the Red Bull backs down because he's a bully. The Red Bully, maybe he's the Red Bully. The Red Bully Ray. And when she forces him into the ocean, the other unicorns come out. And that's the end of the Red Bull. The unicorns escape and go back across the earth. So if you hear the Irish Rovers song, the unicorn song, it's not true. I don't like that. I mean, the song's wonderful, but it's just sad. And then the castle crumbles. The king falls to his unseen death. You don't see his body. And in a soap opera or a comic book, if you don't see a body, they're coming back. But I think in a cartoon movie, they're gone. He's got his sword with him, so maybe he fell on it. Unicorn heals Lear, and she goes away. He wants to see her again, but he knows that that's not his destiny, even though he'll be sad. And she'll never forget him. And that's pretty much what old Schmendrick is telling him. Who has matured, and he's not a pickpocket. And the unicorn wants to know if he's happy now because he's a true wizard. And he's like, I think so. But she's going home, going back to where she came from to see if she can live again with her regret and her love. But she's matured. She's not the innocent creature that she was. And there she goes. And it was recorded in Dolby. This isn't a Spinal Tap album. It's not in Dolby. All right, my fellow agents, that is The Last Unicorn. It's wonderful. I mean, the book is wonderful. The movie is wonderful. And it does get re-released into the theaters every so often. So if you can see it on the big screen, do it. Having said all that, until our next adventure tomorrow when we talk about Captain America's next 2 episodes, this is X7 signing off. Oh, and if you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Thank you. X7 signing off.
She is a creature of legend. In an age of sorcery and savagery,
Well, what have we here?
demons,
No!
and dragons, she may be the last unicorn.
All I want to know is if you've seen other unicorns like me somewhere in the world.
You can find the others if you are brave. They passed down all the roads long ago, and the Red Bull ran close behind them and covered their footprints.
Oh, I could never leave this forest. But I must know if I am the only unicorn left in the world.
The classic tale is now a classic animated adventure. Featuring the voices of Mia Farrow,
The The spell was wrong, but there was true magic in it.
Alan Arkin.
My dear, you deserve the services of a great wizard, but I'm afraid you'll have to be glad of the aid of a second-rate pickpocket.
Jeff Bridges.
That is exactly what heroes are for.
It's you and me, Moth. Hand to hand to hand to hand.
Robert Klein. Christopher Lee.
I am King Haggard.
And the music of America.
It's the last unicorn.
A journey into the unknown.
What's that?
Go on!
A mystery full of wonders and a fantasy beyond imagining.
That's the one. I want to know who she is.
Splendid delight!
Haggard!
Do something!
Magic, do as you will! Magic, do as you will!
Look and see her, how she sparkles.
The last unicorn. The legend will live forever.